It's the final segment. Segment 6. Which is the same final segment we have done in all of our video podcasts, which is the soundtrack of our lives. This is where we pick the ultimate playlist, each of our individual ultimate playlists. And this week, now it's a weekly show. This podcast, we are going to go, of course, it fits the theme, favorite female artist. This could be across the board, could be any genre, it's flat out favorite female artist. And as usual, I am going to go vinyl because it helps me narrow it down a bit. Yeah. And 2, I can never pick just one, so I have a couple.
Yeah, I struggle too. I got like 5.
Wow. All right. Well, then we'll go do a couple honorable mentions, and then we'll do our number one pick, which is the one that made the final cut and is going on the ultimate soundtrack of our lives playlist. So you have more than me, so I'm going to let you go first.
So let's see. Honorable mentions. I got Tina Turner.
Done.
River Deep, Mountain High.
River Deep, Mountain High. I would have gone.
Tina Turner. I mean, you go with We Don't Need Another Hero.
Thunderdome, baby.
But
Thunderdome.
I went early Tina.
Let's be fair. You can't go wrong no matter what you pick. Right. I mean, at that point, Tina, it's just, you don't even have to name an album. Tina.
Yeah.
Tina Turner. And you're done. You're kind of, in fact, you know what? Thank you for joining us. This has been okay. I won't jump to the end. Tina Turner is a phenomenal pick. Okay, I'm gonna go with one of mine because it's kind of in there with this iconic. Mm-hmm. It's iconic. Okay, and it's not necessarily the album. This is the album I have. I have other albums. I'm admitting it. I have other albums from this particular artist. So it's not this particular album, but it's the artist. Babs herself, Barbra Streisand. That's right. I'm going with Barbra Streisand, and I picked Memories because you got duets with Neil Diamond, Donna Summers. You've got.
Do you have a song? Are you actually picking Memories?
Well, no, because these are my honorable. These are my honorable mentions. Okay. So for this one,
with the whole album.
Yeah, I'm going with the artist.
Barbara isn't.
Because I decided I'm not going to narrow. This is an honorable mention of. It would have been a Barbara song, and Memories definitely. Although I probably would have gone if it was this album, I would have gone with You Don't Bring Me Flowers. You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
Chris Christopherson.
So there's my honorable mention. You Don't Bring Me Flowers. I know, it's crazy. Especially if you watch the other videos, the other things that I pick. But every now and then you just need something to like bring it back down.
Yeah,
bring it down, baby.
That's true.
All right, another honorable.
Sure. Liz Phair, Supernova.
Yeah. Is there a particular song?
That's the song.
That's
Supernova.
the song. Isn't that the album though?
No, it's. I don't remember the album's name.
I messed that up. I apologize. Yep. Also a good choice, Liz Phair. Why don't you do one more? Because I only did 3 this week. Yeah, I only got 3.
Let's see. Well, artist-wise, there's some new artists like Caroline Rose is really good, and Lily Hyatt.
Okay, I
believe she's John Hyatt's daughter.
All right, you got all right, that I'm gonna.
Her
that we gotta check out.
songwriting's just as good, but you should definitely check them out.
I do love John Hyatt.
Got a punk band from Philly called Mannequin Pussy. Drunk Number 2.
Check that out. Okay. You're blowing my mind on these. So you got to know something. First of all, this guy over here is like the Rain Man of music. He knows. No, it's so true. At least amongst everyone I've ever met. So I'm going with my circle of everyone. Mike has a pretty, not only vast, amazingly vast scope of music that he listens to, but borderline encyclopedic knowledge. I mean, there'll be a song, and it doesn't matter if it's new, if it's old, if it's classic, if it's not, if it's obscure. You know, like everything. You know the words, you know the tune, So most of the time and I knew this was going to happen with this particular list, is it was going to be maybe I know one of them. Like that's why I'm thrilled you said Tina Turner. Like I got one. I'm like Cap in the first Avengers movie.
Flying monkeys.
I got that reference. Wow. So, but anyway, what I will say is, regardless of whether or not I know who he's talking about, Mike always picks some really awesome, interesting stuff. So if you're not familiar with it like I am, you should probably check them out. Meanwhile, let me go with my next pick.
What, is that
Donna,
the Wiz soundtrack?
This is Donna Summer's greatest hits. Donna Summer's
what a feeling.
Greatest hits, and I'm going with I'm going to go with MacArthur Park.
Oh, someone let the cake out in the rain.
Yep, got to go with MacArthur Park. I love Donna Summer. So you got to understand too. For me, pretty much all my selections, right? But I grew up on, I don't even know what you call them now, but they were either classic rock or oldies. So when I was growing up in the 80s, everything I listened to, I listened to some of the current music, but a lot of it, since I wasn't driving, my dad drove and my mom drove, they listened to 104.3, right, with Dick Biondi. Remember Dick Biondi, baby? And we listened to all of these classic rock and oldies, and I mean, they're especially Motown. My dad was huge into Motown, so it was Motown. Anyway,
which is ironic.
It is. Yeah, that's again another podcast with a different title. But growing up on that music, I love it. It's still my all-time favorite. So anyway, there was no way I was gonna not talk about my top female artists in my mind and not include Donna Summer. And there's others. I mean, again, there's others, but Donna Summer, especially because of the mix of kind of Motown and disco and MacArthur Park is just, to me, it's one of the best songs ever made.
Yeah.
So, Donna Summer, MacArthur Park.
I got another newer artist, Lydia Lovelace. Check out Boy Crazy. Kind of alt country-ish. It's really good stuff.
Okay. All right, are you down to your last pick? This is the one? Do you have this is the one?
I got two left.
Do one more, and then we'll each do our the one.
So I'm going to go Cardi B. WAP.
Okay. I know that one. I got one. Oh, that's a good. Wow, really? That's the one.
You got all these classic cock rock songs.
Yeah.
Need one for the ladies.
Got it. That's a fair call. That's an absolutely fair call. Yeah. All right. My final. This is the one. Like the other ones were close, but this is the one.
Yeah.
Making it onto the Zune.
Yeah.
Is Xanadu. Featuring the music of Electric Light Orchestra and, of course, the female artist Olivia Newton-John. Now, you might think it's Xanadu. No. I love Xanadu, but ironically, I much prefer ELO's version of Xanadu over Olivia Newton-John's version of Xanadu. But on this particular album, Magic.
Magic, yes.
Magic.
Have to believe.
Got to believe we are magic. The whole album is actually a lot of fun for being absolutely one of the all-time worst movies ever made. Absolutely a horrible movie. True. But again, this is something I think you could only get away with in the 80s. You could have the absolute shit movie that has an amazing soundtrack. You had ELO, you had Queen, you had well, actually, I was thinking Queen twice because you had Highlander and Flash. You had Toto, right, doing Dune. You had all of these mainstream rock and stuff making soundtracks. So the soundtrack is like, dude, the soundtrack is so much. I'll never watch this movie again, but I will absolutely listen to the soundtrack. I'm going, Can You Believe It Is Magic with Miss Olivia Newton-John.
Okay.
All right, that's my number one. That's the one that made the list.
So, where am I? Right there. So I picked probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I'm picking Ani DeFranco, Egos Like Hairdos.
Yeah.
It's the song.
Yeah.
The reason it's the best show, because it was just her and like a percussion guy.
Wow.
And then plus it was, I saw it with Pino.
Yeah.
So picture two.
Well, wait a minute. Come on, man. We can't do this.
What?
We can't say somebody's name and not do shout out.
Oh.
So we're gonna give a shout out to our good friend, musical genius as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, check him out.
Yes,
Pino Farina Band.
Oh my God, Pino Farina Band. Check him out. Find him on Facebook. Like there's not many people like this, right? And it's not that we were buddy. But he's the kind of guy where you didn't have to be buddy. He was one of the most genuinely nice people I've ever met. Mm-hmm. That's totally true. And absolutely just gifted musician and songwriter. And he posts stuff on Facebook now and other stuff. So absolutely check it. And great kind of breadth again of music and style. Mm-hmm. So definitely worthy of a shout out. But you were saying, so you and Pino.
Yes. So picture two 19-year-old-ish suburban white kids with hair down to their shoulders.
It's not that hard to picture.
No. Well,
other than being 19.
At an Ani DeFranco concert,
sure.
We stood out like sore thumbs.
Yeah.
Because it was just the two of us in a sea of lesbians.
Yep.
But it was awesome. It was amazing.
I mean, literally, that's kind of like what I want on my tombstone.
Yeah.
You know, just me in a sea of lesbians.
Yeah,
why not? What are you talking about? It's awesome.
Yep.
You know, so we're gonna have a random mini segment. We're gonna call this segment 7, because I have a question, and I think it's a question that's fun, and it's not necessarily right in line with stuff we normally discuss, which is you just talked about Liz Phair. No, you talked about Ani DeFranco concert.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you the question. We'll each answer this question. Is that your all-time favorite concert? And if not, what was or is your all-time favorite live show that you've gone to?
No, it's not. It's definitely top 5.
Okay.
But probably.
And you've gone to a lot. I mean, I've gone to several.
Yeah.
But you've probably got me 2 to 1 on the live shows, and again a huge variety of artists.
So one year, Rachel took me for my birthday.
And who's Rachel?
She's my wife. We saw the Flaming Lips and the White Stripes on New Year's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and they both fucking knocked it out of the park.
Sure.
So that was probably the best.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good. Well, and it's more than just you saw an awesome performance. New Year's, and you always kind of get screwed because your birthday is like a week before New Year's, right? Like 10 days before New Year's. So you got that late December birthday. So you really got to celebrate. It's a good call, man. It's a good choice. It's virtually impossible for me to narrow down the list because while I haven't gone to a lot of shows, now it's all relative. For me, not going to a lot is I think maybe 20, give or take, 15 to 20. But the shows that I've gone to have almost all been like incredible, right? So you and I got to go see Bruce Springsteen. This was an amazing show. I have never seen, and this was just a few years ago, and the stamina of that man.
Yeah, he's
played solid for like almost 3 hours. And we're not talking breaks. Just I was telling my kids, and they didn't get it. He's like,
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's like, Exactly. He'd literally end his song. He's like, dancing in the dark. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he'd go right into the next song. It was like 3 hours without a break. It was an incredible show.
That was a good one.
It was an incredible show. And I've had the joy of seeing Eric Clapton. I've seen Paul Simon. I've seen a number. But for so first of all, I'm a huge Muse fan. Mm-hmm. And as far as how many times I've seen someone, I've seen Muse 5 times.
Yeah.
And I love Muse, and that's more recent. That's in the last decade that I've seen them. But there's one particular show, and it's I'm going to call it my favorite. I don't even know. I'm going to have to try to explain it as I go. I've seen all these amazing shows. Yanni.
That's your number one.
Yanni. The Acropolis tour at Tinley Park. I don't know what it's called now. I don't give a shit. It'll always be Tinley Park to me. Because now
it was fun.
It was, first of all, whether or not I actually do like Yanni, and I loved the show. The show was great.
It was good.
It's gonna have it's I'm gonna say it's 1 or 2. It's on the top because I also had just gotten I had been working for a while, and I bought all the tickets. I took my whole family. So there's also that moment of I'm a man, right? I took my parents, my sister, you went, and Jordy went.
Yeah.
And it was not just the show, which I had a blast, but it was this ensemble, because I'd seen almost no shows with my parents. So the idea that I was able to bring together my family, my friends, and love it or not, we had a really good time. So for whatever reason, that's the nostalgia in my brain is telling me. Although I will say, there's two other super honorable mentions, and one of them is Blues Traveler. I'll say why. The show was amazing. The show was amazing. But I think more recently, this is in my top 5. More recently, and it is in my top 5 of all the shows, was when we saw Cybertronic Spree.
Oh, yeah.
That show,
That was amazing.
for being in the back of a bar, was, if you don't know Cybertronic Spree...
It's also seeing those songs performed live.
Again, it's and the cosplay, the dress up,
bedroom,
and seeing that we're not the only 2 people that have.
I've performed those songs plenty of times in my bedroom.
Cybertronic Spree dress up as characters from Transformers, like really awesome, and then
they play the
perform
soundtrack.
the soundtrack. If you have not seen Cybertronic Spree, stop this right now.
Another powerful female.
I thought about it too. I almost chose Cybertronic Spree,
RC.
but I decided since they're a cover band,
Yeah.
But yeah, RC. Oh my! And when she does
Immigrant Song.
the Immigrant Song, oh my! They're really a pretty incredible group outside of the fact that they also do Transformers. So there you go. Okay, just had to throw that out there. Just throw that out there. So that brings us, sadly, to the end of the March edition of the Mentally Unbalanced podcast. Of course, if you've enjoyed these videos, please take a moment and click subscribe on our YouTube channel. Check us out.
Smash the like button.
Yeah! God damn it. You made me break. Check us out on
I saw that on a 5-year-old's YouTube channel.
Yeah. Hit it! Hit the like! Subscribe.
So on the things.
Yeah, subscribe on the things. Check us
Facebooks,
out on
the
Facebook.
The Instas.
At Mentally Unbalanced COI and Prometheus Falling. Until then, been a pleasure. I'm Dave Floss.
Je m'appelle Michael Davis.
And we'll see you next month.